Hi everybody, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Thanks for being here. Hope all is well with you. This is a very challenging time of life, isn't it? I think that as we move through our life and get older, we're constantly readjusting and, just adapting to the world as it evolves. And I think our view of aging and our place in the world shifts as we get a little older. And I think that there's a natural tendency to try to avoid some of the things that are coming back to us from our past, memories, things that we regret perhaps, situations and decisions that we've made that took us down a path. And we reflect on that and try to come to grips with it and put it in a place. And I think the tendency tends to be in a way to avoid those negative things because, well, we just either don't have a place for them or we just don't want to deal with them. They're just too painful or difficult. And Deborah Garrett, one of our bloggers, wrote this article about the power of going within. And I know that, a lot of women live alone now and find it really hard to settle down with their own thoughts. We keep busy all the time, trying to occupy ourselves, and that there is a power, from taking a moment to stop and going within. We may think that we have very little control over our lives as we're spinning through the phases of being young, having, have a career, having a young family, and we sort of modify our behavior to suit that stage of life. When we're older and we're perhaps living by ourselves, we are facing some of the things alone, and that can be scary and it can be difficult. And so I've got some ideas for you to be thinking about when avoidance isn't really a good idea anymore. Now we try to push the negative away, but it's going to be there. And I think we can finally get a little bit of a peek inside of ourselves and start to truly understand who we are. The universe steps in. I actually don't know what the universe is. I mean, we all look at it and say, okay, it's the power, it's the magic, it's the force, it's the coincidence that happens in our lives. It's the things that, it could be the divine, it could be however you articulate that thing that seems to be bigger than us, that seems to be more in control of our lives than perhaps we are sometimes. The universe, as just using that phrase, but whatever our inner voice is, gives us nudges sometimes. Sometimes it does show itself in coincidence. You bump into someone, you happen to see this article, you watch this film and you think, oh, that was for me. That topic was, I was meant to watch that today. I was meant to listen to that because it actually is exactly where I am at the moment. And I think if we give a chance to acknowledge that and embrace it and thank it. Thank you for bringing that to me. We brought it to ourselves probably, if you think about the process for how we dream, how things come into our consciousness, how we prepare ourselves to deal with something that's difficult. I've often found that in dreams that they actually deliver messages that if you take a bit of time in the morning to actually reflect on your dreams, you can actually learn the message that is trying to be communicated to you from you. Sometimes Mother Nature and the universe gives us a stronger nudge. Sometimes it's something that forces us to stop. Maybe there's a diagnosis, maybe there's some injury, maybe there's some sense of loss, or just something happens that gives us that. Like, you didn't get the message the first time. This is going to go a little deeper. This is going to be more of a little bit of push, a shout, rather than just a whisper. And have you ever had that happen before? I know I certainly have. And I think that as Deborah talks about it, it's sometimes when you get those messages, it's time to then push out the negative and make room for positivity. Make room for love, make room for forgiveness. And that's not just forgiveness of other people, although there may be a lot of that going on, but it's forgiveness for yourself. Whatever you did, whatever you said, thought, imagined, did, it's okay. Forgive yourself. Honestly, why take that into the years ahead with you? Why carry that weight? Just let it go. Part of this is facing the dark parts. There's a very well-known book, I've forgotten the author's name now, but it's about the power of dreams as you get older to tell your story to you. And when those, 3:00 dreams happen and you wake up and it's like, oh, haven't thought about that in a long time, or that's something that I really don't like about myself, or gosh, that was a difficult decision, and or it was the wrong decision, in reflection. Whatever you say to yourself, he says to embrace those dreams, bring them in, make a cup of tea. Wake up. Just don't try to, cover your head up with the blankets and go back to sleep. Although that may be what you need to do. I don't know your situation, but sometimes it's good to get up, talk to the demons, talk to the influences that are there, trying to help you to understand that negative thought has a channel, it has a power to take you into a better place, into a new you, into a you that's lighter and freer from that kind of negative self-talk. Can be so powerful, so difficult. So, I think that Deborah talks about this issue of negativity and self, flagellation that we go through. Don't, sort of beat yourself up for it. Focus on the light side. Focus on what came of it. When you dig deep enough, I think you always do find that everything that happened that brought tears, that brought sadness into your life, at the same time opened a door. It replaced the negative with something very, very positive. So recognizing your inner beauty, that you are an amazing person, that whatever you've done that has upset you or is in that dark, shadowy part of yourself is more than counterbalanced by your beautiful, positive self. And that's the woman that you need to find. As our outer beauty fades, we look in the mirror and we think, oh, that's different. Where did those wrinkles come from? Where did that, darker shadows under your eyes? Where did that different view, that different definition of beauty? We can't compare ourselves anymore to young people. We just can't do it. I mean, I'd rather have the wrinkles than concealer, and that's kind of how it's been. But we can, say, okay, there is a beauty inside. My outer beauty, yes, that's changed. It's still beautiful. It's still, who's judging? Who's defining what beauty is? It's not youthful beauty. It's not, wrinkle-free beauty, but it's beautiful still. And I actually love older faces because I think that they show such a huge character, but it's the inner wisdom and peace and love and resilience and strength that you have learned over your life. It's the gift. It's the gift that you have, but you can only accept it. You can only live it and only be it when you move through that dark space. It's that shadow self that you've got to kind of embrace. I mean, maybe there's a situation in your life. I know a lot of women are dealing with estrangement from their children and their grandchildren, their family, their partners. I mean, for people, that are really in a very isolated and lonely position, the only way to get out of that is to accept that and move forward. Do you know the dark parts of yourself? Maybe we could talk a little bit about this. I know that this the reply section here with articles is not the best place to chat in person, but if you've got something that you want to share, please do, because we're a community of women here that are helping each other. We're standing by each other, and I don't think there's a single woman in this community who wouldn't understand. I mean, they may have a different situation, they may have made different mistakes, they may have made different positive steps forward, but if you've got a desire to live in acceptance and love and peace, you've got to give up the self-hatred and the negative self-talk, and you've got to move forward with a positive mindset. So I think there is power. I think Deborah's right. I think there's a power of going within, but you have to be strong. You have to be very brave. Okay? I hope this has been useful. I hope it's been inspiring, and I hope it's been helpful and meaningful to you. I just want you to know that it's important to me that I'm with you always on this journey, and I appreciate and love you all, and I look forward to hearing your comments on this, how you've managed to redefine beauty as you get older, and how you've experienced the power of going within. Take good care, everybody. Lots and lots of love. Take good care. Bye-bye for now.